Welcome back, everyone. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we're Backyard Musings, broadcasting live Apple Valley, California.
And it's a beautiful day, and we are the Science and Technology Channel.
Masters of nothing.
Right.
Okay, what you're looking at right
Working
now?
on it, though. We're working on
it. Is Mount Spurr in Alaska. In March, the AVO sounded the alarm that Mount Spurr could blow in the next few weeks. But ground deformation has slowed over the last month, and the shoreline along the crater has not lost ice as it would if magma were rising to the surface. Alaska's Mount Spurr has experienced 66 earthquakes in the last week, signaling an elevated level of unrest. The Alaska Volcano Observatory issued an update Friday saying that the 11,000-foot tall volcano has a lower level of erupting than it reported earlier in the year. Would you like to know more? Let's got a slide to show you here if I can get it there. There we go. That shows you where this is in proximity to everything.
Okay, Mount Spurr is located about 78 miles from Anchorage. That is the home to nearly 300,000 people preparing for the eruption. Locals have rushed to stock up on food and protective gear in the event the volcano blows without notice. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
The likelihood of an eruption has decreased from March, but the volcano remains at an elevated level of unrest, and an explosive eruption or eruptions, like those that occurred in 1953 and 1992, is still possible. That's according to the AVO.
Yeah.
We would expect to see weeks or more of more elevated unrest that would provide advance warning of an eruption.
So it's showing all the signs. There have been recent earthquakes nearby. Volcano surface has expanded. There's melting snow on its peak, and there's higher than normal emissions of volcanic gases, or VOG. It's almost like we have a checklist of the usual signs that volcanoes give us before they progress to an eruption, said Matt Haney, the scientist in charge at the Alaska Volcano Observatory. Those dogs are working on my last nerve.
Yeah, I think they're
Oh my
probably excited about
gosh.
those sirens that just went by. But maybe they're feeling an earthquake.
So he continues with the quote, and now we're seeing all four of those are giving us those indicators.
Now you got them all screwed up. Mount Spurr is the tallest volcano in the Aleutian Arc, a batch of several dozen volcanic islands stretching from south central Alaska along the Aleutian chain to the Kamchatka Peninsula in the Russian Far East.
So that's the Ring of Fire, right?
Yeah, I guess
It's in the Ring of Fire.
maybe that's the part that what was her name? The lady that was governor of Alaska.
Palin.
Yeah, Sarah Palin said that she could see Russia from her window. So yeah, Spur is about 80 miles west of Anchorage, but it's in a very remote area. You have to charter a plane to get there. And Haney said there's little infrastructure there beyond the Alaska Volcano Observatory's monitoring stations. The closest community is the village of Tyonek on the west side of Cook Inlet, and it's roughly 400 miles away by plane.
40 miles.
Or, I'm sorry, 40 miles away by plane.
In February, scientists said there were equal chances the volcano would erupt or not, like 50-50. Then on March 12th, they said it's more likely to erupt than not. So that's more than 50%. But there's no specific percent chance to apply to it. So, for example, scientists can't say there's a 75% likelihood of eruption. Quote, we haven't quantified what that is in the terms of percentage, Haney said, but it is judged to be higher likelihood than this unrest dissipating.
As of March 19th, Mount Spurr's alert level code was yellow, or in observatory advisory status, which means there's increased unrest. There are two levels above that. The watch or orange level means an eruption is even more imminent, or it could be underway but still posing only limited hazards to people. That's the case currently at Great Sitkin, far out in the Aleutian Islands, which is erupting and on watch status. Yeah. The warning or red level means a hazardous eruption is imminent, underway, or suspected.
Scientists are watching Spur for an increase in the 4 eruption indicators mentioned earlier that would trigger elevating its alert level. If we were to see volcanic tremor, if we were to see increased earthquake activity, or hear sirens.
Yeah, we've got something serious going on here.
Something's
That's about
going
the third cruiser that we've heard going by. Yeah, police car. So
okay, number 3, increased gas emissions, and number 4, increased melting of the snow and ice at the volcano, then those would be indications that we would go to the next level in our color code system, which is orange watch. The next one will be orange watch, Haney said. And then finally, if we were to go to an eruption, we would go to the red warning.
Even if the volcano hits an orange alert, Haney said, that doesn't necessarily mean an eruption is imminent. In fact, he said Mount Redoubt. Oh, okay. Returned to yellow status after an orange alert in late January 2009. It stayed at orange for several weeks. This is a quote. And then in early March 2009, it was reduced to yellow because the tremor declines. That's according to Haney. Then it went back to orange because there was a small steam-driven eruption, not a magmatic eruption, at the summit of Redoubt. Then again, the activity declined. It went to yellow.
Can you imagine that? Steam comes up, but no.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like in Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
Got all those geysers.
Oh, the geysers. Yeah, exactly. It finally ended up erupting between 10:30 a.m. and 11 p.m. on March 29th, 2009.
Now, why couldn't it have done it at 10:30 in the morning, right? How convenient is that? 10:30 at night to 11 p.m.
It's a good fireworks to watch, right?
Yeah.
Redoubt's eruption lasted several months and at times shot ash up to 65,000 feet. Wow. That would affect air traffic.
That's pretty high.
In the event of a change in advisory from yellow to orange or from orange to red, the Alaska Volcano Observatory will send out an alert on its website and notify its various community partners like city and state emergency officials. You can sign up for alerts from the observatory, and I've got it on the slide. It's https://volcanoes.usgs.gov/VNS3/. And you can see it in the upper left of the slide there. Cool. So if you want to sign up, they'll send you alerts.
Yeah, so lots of activity. I mean, we've been having our fair share of earthquakes here. They've been pretty mild. Just had one on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Another one on Sunday. And we have some volcanoes that are close by. I mean, the closest one that I can think of that's been
Shasta
semi-active is Mammoth Mountain, actually, which is about 300 miles from here. So not too far. And lots of volcanic activity all throughout the Eastern Sierra and the Owens Valley and stuff.
So join us tomorrow because we're going to talk about the silver lining that comes with eruptions, if you can even think of a silver lining with the eruptions. Join us tomorrow morning. We'll have that for you.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Yeah, I could see that would let off some pressure.